Welcome to the exciting and new podcast. I'm Jason.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Brian.
What are we doing today, Jason?
The Man with Two Brains. It's rated R. Running time, hour and 33 minutes. Released June 3rd, 1983. Directed by Carl Reiner. We talked about him. Top 4, Dick Van Dyke, Ocean's 11. He played Saul Bloom, The Jerk, and Ocean's 13. Do you know how many episodes of Dick Van Dyke he was on? As an actor and as a writer.
Well, the Dick Van Dyke Show is actually based on his life, right?
But it
was supposed to be like the Seinfeld of its time, where he was going to basically be doing a
show about nothing.
Show about him as a writer for a comedy show or something like that. 25. I don't even know how many episodes.
Now this is actor.
Sure,
I'm going to say 100.
38 episodes as an actor.
I don't even know how many episodes of Dick Van Dyke Show there were. Like, I don't know. How
Did he like stop being in it later, or
he was only in a few episodes because he wasn't like he didn't play the main character.
He played Dick Van Dyke's boss, right?
He was a writer for 158 episodes.
So he wrote most of them.
Yeah, he was a writer for a lot of them. I don't know how many total. I should have wrote that down, but I didn't.
Interesting.
The IMDb description is: a brain surgeon marries a femme fatale, causing his life to turn upside down. Things go more awry when he falls in love with a talking brain. Recently widowed Dr. Michael, Andy, can you pronounce his last name for me?
Hofhar.
Dr. Furrier, it's Hofhar. I'm sorry.
That's all right. A lot of people mispronounce it, but it sounds just the way it's spelled. H-F-U-H-R-U-H-U-R-R.
That's the world's greatest neurosurgeon, Michael.
Probably the world's greatest. I told him to take probably out.
He injures Dolores Benedict in a car accident. He operates on her and saves her life using a technique of his own invention, cranial screw-top brain entry, which, by the way, the screwing on when he would do it sometimes was just insane.
But ridiculous. when he's talking to Kathleen Turner at the table, and he just gets up and like turns her head real quick, like that'll straighten her out.
As Benedict recovers, falls in love with her, and they are soon married. However, Benedict is only interested in Far's money, and still yearns for his previous wife. They travel to Vienna to attend a medical conference where finally divorces Dolores, meets a mysterious Dr. Alfred Necessiter, and becomes entangled in a series of murders committed by the Elevator Killer.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Don't spoil who that is. I don't know if we want to get into it yet. Or we're going to do the actors and stuff like that. Yeah. I really thought that I've seen this movie a couple times before back in the day. I thought his wife, his dead wife, like somehow her brain was on ice and they were going to transplant. Like I thought it was his wife's brain that was getting transplanted in there. I didn't realize it was a whole new woman. What was her name? Amel Mahay. So when that happened, I was like, I thought it was his old wife that died that they were transplanting her brain, but whatever. It's all good.
This cast starts off with Steve Martin. We've had him in, this is his second movie now, right?
We did Man with Two Brains.
That's right, Man with Two. And then Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid. So this is our third time.
Wait, I said we're doing the Man with Two Brains. Yeah, only Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid. We didn't do
And then we did The Jerk.
Did we do The Jerk?
I wish we did
I don't think we did The Jerk. Maybe we should do The Jerk.
Yes, we did.
I would love to do The Jerk.
I don't remember.
What was the other Steve Martin movie that we did?
Just Dead Man Don't Wear Plaid, I think.
Incorrect. We did The Jerk.
Did we really? I don't remember watching The Jerk recently.
We didn't do The Jerk.
I don't remember watching The Jerk
because I don't like Steve Martin.
I know, but I think that's because of Dead Man Don't Wear Plaid. We talked about him then. I really honestly don't remember watching The Jerk in the last 5 years. So
Jerk.
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
I don't know why do I think what was his 1982 movie that we did?
Dead Man Don't Wear Plaid. You're a jerk. That's the problem. Yeah, Steve Martin's one of those guys I've loved since I was a young lad because I had his Wild and Crazy Guy cassette tape when I was way too young to be listening to him talk about
the arrow through the head.
Yeah, but he's talking about singing from her diaphragm and stuff like that. A joke that I had absolutely no idea what he was talking about. And he had a lot of jokes that went way over my head, but he did the whole arrow in his head. I'm a wild and crazy guy. I loved Steve Martin growing up. Loved him.
The Egyptian dance.
Yep. Well, he had the King Tut song. Yeah. And I know I've talked about my grandfather a couple times on the show. My grandfather hated Steve Martin. And I remember debating with him like the greatness of The Jerk. And
why did I watch The Jerk recently? I watched that for some reason, and
because it's a fun movie.
When did it come out?
79.
Yeah, I love The Jerk.
I would love to do that movie.
Playing Dolores Benedict.
Do we do?
Well, we
Steve
did Steve Martin before. I figured. So
okay,
Roxanne, L.A. Story, The Jerk, and The Pink Panther.
Okay, Pink Panther. I forgot he did those.
Dolores Benedict was played by Kathleen Turner. That's our first Kathleen Turner movie.
She looked good in this too.
I was just going to ask: does Kathleen Turner do it for you? She doesn't do it? I don't see the.
I thought she looked sexy.
I think she looks manly.
I think she looks.
Maybe that's why I like her.
I think she looks sexy in a 1940s kind of way, and I don't know what I mean by that. But like when I look at her, I'm like, she looks like a woman at a time. Like she's not hot by 80s standards. I don't find her unattractive either, but I'm not like,
yeah,
it's not. She's no.
I don't think
she's no Heather Locklear or.
When she was wearing that
Farrah
see-through outfit, that was nice.
And it's funny because she like kind of always plays off the fact that she's like manly. Obviously, she was Chandler's father and Friends, and I think in Dumb and Dumber 2, like there was a bunch of like, I'm sure today inappropriate transgender jokes about her and stuff like
Family
that.
Guy makes fun of her
yeah.
as a
I remember the first thing I ever saw Kathleen Turner was Romance in the Stone, and I remember like people talking about
in our top 4.
How smoking hot Kathleen Turner was, and I'm like, and I think that's 83 also, or 84 or something like that.
I think we do that.
I was like a young kid watching it. I'm like, when's Kathleen Turner getting in this? Because when's the hot chick coming? And the movie ended. I'm like, oh, that was her? I guess I should have known that going in. Sorry.
She does have that deep voice.
Yeah. Right. You want to try any more of her top 4?
She started with Body Heat. That was
That's
like her
in
first
her top
thing.
4, yeah.
Okay.
How about the sequel to Romancing the Stone?
Jewel of the Nile.
Yeah.
Nope, that's not in her top 4.
Are the other two gettable?
Mm-hmm.
She was Jessica Rabbit. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? In there? Not in there. Is Dumb and Dumber 2 in there?
No.
That would suck if it was. In Friends now?
I don't know any.
I'm going to give them to you. Peggy Sue Got Married and Serial Mom.
Serial Mom. That's right. When she was
Peggy Sue Got Married. Is that Nick Cage?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Serial Mom. I don't think I ever saw that one. I don't. That doesn't ring a bell in my head.
Playing Dr. Alfred Necessiter was David Warner. He passed in 2022 at 80.
I feel we've talked about him recently too. He's like one of those guys.
Yeah, cancer. That's all it said. Just cancer.
He was in Star Trek. He was the Klingon.
Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country.
He was the chairman of the. He was the one that they shot on the. Star Trek 6 is the one where.
I'm sure I saw
the
it. But
Klingons.
I don't remember him in it.
When the Klingons and the Enterprise like come together, they're going to like save everybody, and he's the chancellor in that. And he gets shot on the Klingon ship. Spacing on the name of it, but he was also in something. Oh, he was also in Titanic.
That's his number 2.
Yeah, he was like Billy Zane's. He was like Billy Zane's bodyguard in that.
If you can get the third one, that'd be great because we did do it.
Oh, we talked about it already. Okay, I was gonna say like I feel like we've talked about him already.
Yeah, we did.
What would he have been in?
Wow, I'm not.
Death Wish.
I'm blanking.
Ready?
Yeah.
Tron.
Damn it, he's the bad guy in Tron.
That's right.
Shit.
That's his number 3.
Oh, god damn.
And his 4th was In the Mouth of Madness.
Oh, John Carpenter movie.
I never saw that.
Not a good movie.
Up next was one of my favorites, Paul Benedict. He played the butler.
I know him from 2 things.
He passed in 2008, age 70, from a brain hemorrhage. Does not sound nice, does it?
He had something wrong with him, right? Like his entire life. Did he have like that whatever
That gigantism
Michael
but
Phelps
not
has, that
completely
like
have
kind of
it.
like weird skeletal thing going and stuff like that? Like he always kind of looked
lurchy.
Yeah.
What are the things you know him
Well,
from?
obviously he's Bentley on
How many episodes of The Jeffersons?
Wow, that's a good
Now,
question.
that's not in his top 4, though.
It's not in his top 4.
Not in his top 4.
He was in 50 episodes of The Jeffersons.
I'm going to say 100.
202 episodes.
Wow, I didn't know there was
Out
that
of
many
253.
I didn't know there was that
yeah.
many episodes of The Jeffersons. He had one of my favorite lines on The Jeffersons when he the pilot episodes of The Jeffersons when he comes over to their house and says hello to them and leaves and then like immediately opens the door and he's like, "You're black," or something like that. And like George, of course, is like, "Yeah, no kidding." Or I didn't even notice that kind of thing, but it was just so funny how he like walks back in the door. Yeah. The other thing that he was in was Spinal Tap.
He played Tucker Smitty Brown.
Yeah, he was great in that. I mean, he was in one scene, but he was.
You don't remember him from The Man with Two Brains?
Oh, okay. Yes, I do.
Jefferson's in this is all I remember. I don't even
His
remember
others
from
were
Spinal
Jeremiah
Tap.
Johnson. I didn't know that, and The Addams Family.
The movie or the show?
The movie.
Oh, okay, I don't remember him in that.
I don't remember him in that.
Interesting.
What was his character?
I don't know. I didn't know.
Lurch.
Okay.
Yeah, you said Lurch.
I don't go
That'd be funny if he was Lurch.
I don't go that far into the cast. It's too much.
In his fourth
Well,
Yeah, it's fourth.
selection.
Playing Dr. Pasteur was Richard Brestoff.
which one was he?
I don't remember. I don't remember his top four either. Man with Two Brains, The Entity, Operation Petticoat, and Tour of Duty.
Oh, well, we wouldn't have gotten any of those anyway. So
Yeah.
Maybe he was the first doctor he met with when he went to Austria.
maybe. There were a lot of like in and out people in this movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Quite a
they
few
came-
more doctors we have on the list here too. But the next person I had on here was the realtor, and that was James Cromwell.
Yeah,
course.
like as soon as he popped in, I'm like, holy shit, James Cromwell. I'm like, I didn't know he
At
was
first,
in
I was
this.
like, "Was that James Cromwell?"
Yeah,
it took me a second.
I did the
to
same. I was
notice
like, well, that looks like James Cromwell,
Yeah.
but he's not in this. And then I was like, oh, I guess he is in this because it's
I was like,
definitely him.
"That's a small part for him." Too.
I mean, he was in that one scene, right?
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
You want to try his top four?
Man.
Babe.
No,
Star Trek Generations.
no.
Babe Pig in the City.
There is a Star Trek on there though.
Oh, was he in another Star Trek movie? Damn. I don't know what else he was in.
First
Star Trek.
Contact.
Oh, that's the one I meant. Yeah. He's Zephyrin Cochrane in that.
Oh,
the guy
that's
that
right.
invented Lightspeed. He was in L.A. Confidential, one of the best movies of all time. That
number
is
one.
He is
Number one.
great in that. Danny DeVito, Kevin Spacey,
That's got a
Guy
big
Pearce,
cast, yeah.
Kim Basinger won an Oscar for that.
How do you say that?
Basinger.
I don't think I saw
L.A.
that.
Confidential. It's like
You never seen that? It's a good.
It's like a
you should check that out.
50s
Yeah.
noir movie. It is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good. Oh, Kevin Russell Crowe's in it
We'll
too.
do that
right?
on our Patreon.
Yeah, okay. Russell Crowe too. Great cast, great movie. I'm drawing a blank on him. What else?
Green Mile.
Oh yeah, okay. Is Succession on there?
No, it should be, but the other one was the General's Daughter.
I can't believe Babe's not on there.
I'm kind of surprised by that too because I feel
That's
like
pretty,
even though he was older by the time that came out, that was probably the first thing most people think about
Yeah.
when they think of him.
George Firth, he played Timon.
Timon.
He passed in 2008, 75 from a lung
Was his
infection.
name Timon really like Pumbaa and Timon from Lion King?
Timon, yeah.
That's exactly how you spell Pumbaa and Timon.
Was he the landscaper?
No, he was the first husband of Kathleen Turner.
Oh, okay.
And he's been in, I certainly know he was in Blazing Saddles.
He looks very
He was
familiar.
in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and the Cannonball Run.
Cannonball Run, right? Yeah. He was one of those kinds of character
Oh, that's
actor
right.
guys.
He was the guy who was trying to stop it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Peter Hobbs played Dr. Brandon. He passed in 2011, age 92, from a brief illness.
That's the best way to go, man. Brief illness. I was feeling great yesterday, and now I'm not feeling too well. That's how I want
and
to
his
go.
top four
Although I will
was-
never say I was feeling good yesterday.
His top four was The Man with Two Brains, The Andromeda Strain, Sleeper, and 9 to 5.
I'm not sure who this guy
Played the
is.
doctor in 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But 9 to 5 was a great movie. And Sleeper is like my favorite Woody Allen movie. That is a funny movie.
When he's walking around.
That's what he's the robot, pretending to be the robot and stuff like that. Yeah, that's such a great movie.
Earl Bowen played Dr. Felix Conrad. He's a Terminator 2 Judgment Night.
Oh yes, he's the doctor.
He's
from
in all the
Terminator.
Terminators. Yeah,
He's the one in
Terminator,
the second
Terminator
one
3.
that like Arnold shoots all the guys in the.
He was at Edward Furlong was at
Oh, was he?
was at
Chiller this time?
Chiller. I saw him there. He was nice. He looked not really
Looked okay?
good
'Cause I know he
But,
had issues.
Yeah, and he was there with James DeBello. He did the that Kiss movie with him.
Oh,
Detroit
okay.
Rock City.
Detroit Rock City, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But in all three of the first the Arnold Terminator movies, the doctor's in all three. He's like at the police station in the first one, and then Arnold comes in and kills everybody else. He leaves.
He's got a lot of credits.
He actually
289 acting
he
credits.
passes Arnold
A lot of
as
credits.
Arnold's walking in to kill everybody in the first one.
I think I saw the Terminators, but I don't remember.
God, Damn, dude, really?
Yeah.
Like, how do you miss those, though? I mean, it's
especially
like,
Terminator 2, man. That was like the biggest movie of 1993 or
I
whenever
remember
that came
the
out.
liquidy guy.
That
from
was Terminator 2, yeah.
But I don't remember anything about it.
like no interest in seeing that. Like when you saw like a trailer or like when you saw like
you see Arnold
poster or
naked.
something
I mean,
that.
like that doesn't get you in the door.
Maybe.
Only from behind.
Oh,
Dun, dun,
Did you
dun,
see
dun,
that?
dun.
It's Paul Rudd in the movie. Oh, what was that movie where I forget the name of the movie that it was? It begins with a W. It was but it's him doing that scene from that movie, but they made him into Arnold Schwarzenegger. So his face is Paul Rudd. It goes into Schwarzenegger, and the voice is Schwarzenegger.
It's a movie that does that?
It's somebody did a
Like a TikTok
fake
or something
kind of
like
thing.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's so funny. It was so funny. I can't think of the damn movie, but it was a David Wayne movie.
oh, okay.
Wait, it was cut into a
It was
movie?
cut from that. It's a scene from that movie.
Gotcha.
As Paul Rudd.
Gotcha.
But Paul Rudd is made to look like and sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I've seen a
so
ton of those deep fakes now. Speaking of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you guys have not seen Titanic, but there's a scene in Titanic where Kate Winslet's like taking her clothes off for Leo. And it's like, draw me like your French girls, Jack. And it's now Arnold's face on the body, speaking like Arnold. And it is fucking hilarious. So he's just like, draw me like your French girls, Jack. Don't you like? And he's like, don't you like my boobies? It's so stupid. And I've watched it 100 times. I laugh every time.
Oh man. Bernie Hearn played gun seller.
Oh, good Lord.
I don't
Bernie
remember
Hearn.
him.
The guy who sold the gun.
Sold the gun. Yeah, but I don't remember who it was.
Yeah. I just put these on there because that's the cast. And
Yeah.
Francis X. McCarthy played Olson.
Olsen.
He was a poor man's version of Leslie Nielsen, I wrote right here.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
You
now.
know one movie he was in, though? Basketball.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah.
What was he in
what guy
that?
was
I
he?
don't remember. He was also in Summer School.
Oh, Summer School. Wow.
Was he the principal?
I was thinking, was he the one that like busted them? But he looked so much younger then. Can't be him.
It was
yeah,
85.
you're right.
What guy is this?
Francis X. McCarthy played Olsen.
He was the one that looked like Leslie Nielsen. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that are like in and out of this movie so quick. Like,
Now, I have one more person. It's the elevator killer. Do you want me to give the reveal now?
Sure.
Do we want to reveal it? We'll have Brian give the reveal for the elevator killer.
Here, I'll do this.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I've always just loved to kill. I've really enjoyed it.
And whose voice
Then I
is that,
got
Brian?
famous and just too hard for me.
Merv Griffin.
The Merv Griffin?
It was
Of,
It's such an odd
of Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune?
playing
fame?
himself.
playing himself, and yeah, I remember growing up, and the Merv Griffin show was like a daytime talk show. I guess kind
That
of like
was
in the
huge
same
because I
same
remember
kind
that,
of thing
yeah.
as like Phil
Didn't
Donahue.
Kramer get the?
He got the set,
Set
right?
for that?
Yes, in Seinfeld, he got the set, which was I always thought that was weird when Kramer got that set in the garbage because the Merv Griffin show had been over for like 15 years by then. I was like, they're just throwing this out now.
He said, "No, you fools! Hawks eat squirrels."
Yeah, Jack Handy on. Yeah, Merv Griffin, man, like created Jeopardy, created Wheel of Fortune, made all his money from like creating the theme song to Jeopardy and stuff like that. Like every time they played that, he got a cut of it.
Oh, she like Alan Thicke.
Yeah, kind of, but like much more successful. Like he was.
I don't think I had a good run.
No, I know, but like
Merv Griffin
was-
Resorts.
Oh, yeah.
Merv
Atlantic
Griffin was
City.
a billionaire.
Resorts,
I mean,
yeah,
you know,
he did well.
He was
He did okay.
hugely rich. So
He
that
was bigly rich.
He was bigly rich. That was so crazy that they got him to be in this. I guess you had said it before. He was Carl Reiner's friend or something
Probably,
like that.
yeah.
It just came in. Did you? There's one other cast member. I'm surprised you didn't write down or say.
Who is it?
Fran.
The voice of Anna Melmahay.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I didn't get that. I didn't put that one down. I don't know what. It must have been.
It was Sissy Spacek was the voice of Anna Melmahay.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't know that until yesterday. I saw it in the credits. I was like, oh,
I
nice.
knew it, but I didn't put it on here for
That's
some
fine.
reason.
I mean, she was famous by then.
Sure, Coal Miner's daughter had come out by then, and Carrie.
She was probably friends with
She was
Carl
also friends with Carl Reiner. Maybe she was friends with Kathleen Turner.
That's
This
it
was
for the
only like
cast,
Kathleen.
yeah.
This is only like a year after Body Heat. Like Kathleen Turner had done nothing before this.
But that's where
So-
that was her big breakout, right? The Body Heat.
Oh yeah, for sure. I loved. I thought this movie was cut really oddly. Like there were so many hard cuts.
Yeah, the hard cuts.
Like the scene just ended real fast and was into
But since
another
it's like
action
multiple times, obviously it was done on purpose, right?
It was just the way, but that's not like the way Carl Reiner cut any of the other movies that he and Steve Martin did.
Do you think he maybe realized he didn't like it after he did it?
Maybe it was just he wanted to try a new style in this one. But like that first scene when like
he was James Cameron of his time.
he was when Steve Martin's driving in the car with the reporter and they kept cutting to Kathleen Turner trying to get her husband to have Timon have a heart attack.
That also sounds like something Michael Jackson would say, Timon.
Maybe that's why they put that into Lion King. They were hoping to get Michael Jackson for that. I was almost like, why did they keep cutting to this? Like there was no setup to that. They just hard cutted back and forth between the two, and then finally, he hits her with the car. But
those were hard cuts.
Yeah, it was just weird.
It kind of makes sense though. You have the hard cuts. You have the elevator with the hard stops.
That was great. The elevator they had to crawl out of. Oh, what was the reason why? Because the elevator operator was off that day or something like that. He says something the first time. He's like, oh, the elevator operator's off. I remember my aunt lived in New York City in the 70s and 80s. I would go visit her, and she had a doorman and an elevator operator. And
that's cool.
I remember even back then being like, what's this all about? And my aunt was a teacher in New York City. It wasn't like she was making $1 billion. She just, I guess every place back then just had a doorman and an elevator operator.
When I worked in Manhattan, when I first started at the building, there was the guy, and the elevator, he operated it by a switch. Like he pulled it up and the elevator would go up. He'd match it up. But then they renovated everything and it became regular push button elevator. But they didn't get rid of the elevator operator.
Really? He just
sat on a stool and pushed a button.
That's really nice that they didn't get rid of him, man. I wonder how long he kept his job after that, because obviously
they're not going to hire anybody after him.
Yeah, right. They're like,
I left there in 2002 and they were still.
Was he an old man? Like, was he like some guy ready to retire, so they were just letting him run it out?
This was do you remember who was the lady that owned all the real estate in New York?
That really awful woman?
What's her name? She owned our building.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not Vanderbilt.
No. They always made fun of her on Howard back then. She had that real awful voice.
Yes.
Yes.
It was
Marge Schott?
No, but very similar
she was
to
like
that
Russian.
voice.
All these people were like Russian or Ukrainian. So all the elevator operators, they were like, they hardly spoke English.
Yeah.
And we had a truck elevator too. And like they would, you had to wait for them. You drive your car in and
wow, okay.
Wait
the
for
place
them to
you worked
that.
at before the place you worked at now, the elevators there.
Yeah.
You used to be able to go on them and you could operate them yourself. So I know how to operate those.
I never was on the elevators there.
I used to go on the elevators all the time. Yeah.
Those elevators were scary, man. They were like 100 years
and
old.
I would be
That's why I never got on.
Pallet jacks and full pallets and stuff.
I remember they bring stuff on there, and some people that were more handicapped than even me would take the elevators, and I was just like, that's how you're dying. You're falling from four stories.
But you get in there, you got in and you operated it yourself.
Did it have like the thingamabob?
Didn't have that. Had the up and down, so you had to hold it, and you held it down until it got to, and then it had like
evened up.
It had
the
two lines, and you wanted to get the tape. When it hit, you had to stop, and it would like slide. You knew right where to hit stop, and it would like slide to where you wanted it to go.
Things our kids will never experience.
Yeah.
I had to look it up. I put in New York City 1980 real estate female. Leona Helmsley.
Why am I not thinking that name? We all know it.
We all knew exactly who you were going for, but that's Leona Helmsley. So
she owned our building, 601 West 26th Street.
Helmsley, yeah. So oh my God, like I just looking at her face, I was like, that brings back like a flood of memories. I don't know any current real estate people in New York, yet I knew her. And Trump was a real estate person back then. I knew at least two.
Kathleen Turner once said of this movie, after Body Heat, which was 1981, I got a lot of offers, but none of the films were good enough. I wanted this part because it's a comedy and because the character was so outrageous. I thought that if I was very brave, I could do some extraordinary things with it. It wasn't a run-of-the-mill token female role.
That's amazing that she was only one movie in and she felt she was hot enough to pick her own parts.
My balls!
As we were talking about her, Kathleen Turner playing off her like mannish qualities, maybe. I don't think she looks like a man. It's just there's something about her
voice.
Yeah, I guess she's got a deep voice. Yeah, but sometimes that's hot, especially a girl that's got like a real scratchy, like cigarette smoking voice.
Yeah. Dottie.
Woo, baby. Yeah.
It said when Steve Martin got the bottle of window cleaner from his trunk of his car, there was a brand name on the bottle, but you could see it if you paused it. If you paused it, it said it was Pain in the Glass was the name of the window cleaner.
I wonder if that was like, is that a real? I mean, it can't be. I
don't think it was a real one, but I think that was the joke.
But it's funny that they have it as there that you couldn't even see it. Like you didn't put it down. I mean,
think about it. That was 19. You didn't have all the stuff to stop things and fast forward as easily back then.
So you would think they'd want to like make you see that. You know, they put it down and
like
have the camera
like
focus
almost
on
like,
it.
hey, look at this.
Pain in the glass. That's terrible.
It says so.
Like I don't know any reason why they went with those names other than it was fun to say them, but it's only fun to say them the first time. After, I mean, like the fifth time.
After I said it 3 times in the damn description, I was getting sick of it.
The only time I laughed later on in the movie when it was said was when the guy said, Dr. Hafar. He's like, very good. You just went a little too far. Oh, man. Steve Martin's got some, I'm telling you, man, I love like his delivery. He is a comic genius. He really is. His delivery is so good. But going back to that scene at the beginning with the little girl, when he rattled off like all that information, he's like, I need you to call this number and then call 911 and tell him I need the whatever kind of medical stuff. And she read that all back to him. And like, there were no cuts there. I don't know how they did that. You just saw her face and she was saying all that stuff.
They just told that little girl.
Even with cue cards, like, I don't know how she did all that. I was really impressed by that. That was fun.
What did you bring from your notes, Brian?
I got sound clips.
Like what?
I know there's something weird going on with you and that brain.
It's not weird. It's my work.
Oh, it's your work. To kiss a dead brain?
He told her he didn't kiss it when he was out there on the lake.
Oh, but, and that was the
put the wax lips on it.
And he put the hat, he put the hat on her and stuff like that. It's like you don't want your brain to get sunburned. Oh my God!
What they said, I told her that she was at the opera. Is it box seats at the opera or something?
Michelle and I, while we were watching this, like the first half of this movie was much better than the second half of this movie. This movie kind of like falls apart almost about the time Anna Melmahay entered. Like it's just not as like it almost felt like this could have been a better maybe one. I don't know. They don't do
the gags got too drawn out.
They don't do hour-long TV shows where it's just like one-off comedy shows. But this would have been better there.
Yeah.
Like as a movie, this just went on too long. It's only an hour and a half.
Steve Martin.
It's an hour and 29 minutes, so it's not even an hour and a half.
Steve Martin's first choice for director was actually David Cronenberg.
Oh, I don't know if David Cronenberg.
And Cronenberg. This was right after Scanners because that was 1981. Cronenberg turned it down because he was busy working on Videodrome with James Woods.
We're doing that one,
and
right?
wasn't interested in making a comedy. Yeah,
is that 83?
I've never seen that.
That's 83.
So that's a horror movie. That's a Halloween time joint.
Oh, is that a horror movie?
Yeah, yes, sure, man. Heads
Big
blow
time.
up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're in for a good one. Still, I mean,
I wonder what caused Steve Martin and Carl Reiner
to stop
working together, because they did Jerk, Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, this, and
I guess it's going to be up to one of our listeners to read the book. Tell us about that.
All of Me? Like, I forget. It's almost like the first 4 movies that Steve Martin did, he did them all with Carl Reiner and then never again.
Yeah.
I find that weird. Like, especially when, guys, maybe you want to do something with someone else, but you always end up back together. De Niro and Scorsese did like 10 movies together in the 70s and 80s, but then they did Irishman because they just got back together and did another movie. So I find it weird when, like, did they have a falling out or something like that? I never heard anything from either one of them that they didn't.
You would think that that they're big enough names to that would have been something that you would have heard in the public.
And I remember when Carl Reiner died, Steve Martin was like the first like tweet I looked for. I was like, oh, Steve Martin has, and he had nothing but nice things to say. Now,
that's a lot of people. A lot of people wouldn't be the time for him to say anything.
He's
bad.
Like, I'm glad he's dead. Carl Reiner, fuck you. But he did actually tweet out something very nice about him. So I was like, oh, maybe they're friends still. But I always wondered about that when I was young, because I was so kind of enamored by Steve Martin and Carl Reiner movies that I was like, why aren't they doing anything ever again? Like, what happened? Why did that stop? And then Steve Martin did some movies that I just didn't like L.A. Story. I didn't think it was that good. And
Roxanne.
Yeah, Roxanne was okay, but not great. And, then
Parenthood was good.
Parenthood was good. Three Amigos I loved. but I wondered why he never got back together with Carl Reiner.
That's a good question. I mean,
I always really
I haven't read any like Carl Reiner books. When we get to 1984, we'll do the last of the Steve Martin and Carl Reiner movies, and that would be All of Me.
It is All of Me. Okay, I thought that was the fourth one they did together. Yeah, that's great. That's a great movie too. I love that movie. Lily Tomlin and
we'll do the jerk on Patreon. You said right
there. You go. I was shocked when Steve Martin and Kathleen Turner kissed in the hospital, and she like stuck her tongue.
Yeah, her tongue came right out.
Damn, I'm like,
did it? It seemed like it was like so like instant.
Yeah. But it was
her
just
tongue
like,
just went out instantly.
I was like, wow,
so weird.
like that is like.
Glad you brought that up.
That is a lot
really
of tongue. Well, Michelle and I both like gasped. We were like, oh. Like, wow, that's a lot of tongue. Like,
that wasn't a stage
You
cast.
see people kiss on TV, and even if there's tongue involved, like their mouths are wrapped around each other, so you don't see.
Kathleen, we're not on the set of Body Heat.
You saw that.
We're not on the set of Body Heat anymore, Kathleen.
You saw that tongue go right into Steve Martin's mouth. I wonder if he was like, "Whoa!" Like, I was expecting.
He's like, "Can we do that again?"
Oh yeah, like when he had the heart on with his hat. He's like, "Where's my hat?" And then you hear the window break. I mean, that stuff makes me laugh. It is so stupid.
I mean, that's a stupid. That's an airplane humor. It's just,
oh my god, and,
that's great.
I laughed so hard at that.
This movie's for you, Dana.
Yeah. Oh, Dana would hate this movie. I'm glad she didn't do this one because she would. And Michelle is a fan of this. She likes Steve Martin, but I could see Dana hating this.
Yeah, I don't think Dana would like this movie.
My favorite line in this whole movie, and you don't have it there. I'm glad you don't have it, so I can quote it myself because I'll fuck it up anyway. Like, it was when they first arrived back to Steve Martin's palatial estate, and the two like migrant gardeners are on the steps of the house, and she's like, "Who are those assholes?" And he's like, "It's pronounced azaleas." I don't know why that's so funny. I missed the next like 5 minutes of the movie because I was laughing so hard at that. Well, that was when he was like lifting her across the altar because she wouldn't wheelchair her.
He carried her around a lot.
Yeah,
he must have been
when he carried her into the house and
then he's like, "I want to picture
his legs." I was waiting for his legs to just like you're going to see a bone come out the other side of the.
And he wanted
skin,
a picture to commemorate it, and they just they fell asleep with him standing up holding her, and they just had the pictures like almost like a photo book of like just him holding her across the altar. Oh man. I like I said, like most of the stuff that I'm laughing about and commenting on is all from the first like half of the movie because once like obviously the thing at the apart or the condo where it was like he's like usually it's like a castle or something like that, and he opens the doors like this, and it's a castle inside the condo, and the paper walls. I mean, the sight gag when Bentley was putting up the door, and he just walked right through it again. He started He's like whistling, putting up the door, and he walks right through it. And he just starts walking away to like get another
with the battering ram when they borrowed it.
Oh
man!
man!
Remember, you got to give it back, and they threw it everywhere. But this says this movie has been attributed as bringing the phrase "scum queen" into the popular vernacular.
Scum queen.
Well, I guess she got called that, but I don't remember.
I don't think they said it that much, though, right?
I can't ever tell you.
I never used that.
I've never used that word in my life.
Is that maybe
scumbag? I've used that, but I don't even use that anymore. But I used to use that back in the day.
Scruffy's looking nerf herder, maybe.
This movie didn't add as much to the vernacular as Valley Girl did last week.
No, that's true.
Like for sure,
gag me with a spoon. But this seemed like one of those kinds of movies that just like kind of like Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, where like Steve Martin and Carl Reiner were sitting around. They were probably watching that movie that she was watching on the TV, and she's like, "Oh,
the brain
it's
one,
gross,"
yeah.
and she turned it to Merv Griffin. They were probably watching that movie, and they're like, "Yeah, let's do a movie about brains." And they were probably so fucking high, and they were laughing about every stupid thing. They're like, "Oh my god, he'll have a dumb name like Afar."
Here you go. Kathleen Turner said she used a body double for a sex scene in this movie. I was seriously offended by the scene in which my character is about to have her ass rubbed. I did not.
The guy was paid $15,000 for that.
I got that one.
I did not think that was funny at all. I told them to get someone else's ass to rub. So that's not her ass in that scene.
That wasn't even like a naked ass, right? It was just in lingerie or something like that.
It was a nice ass.
Yeah.
This is the kind of thing that could ruin
And it wasn't
our
Kathleen
marriage.
Turner's.
Why?
No.
Because you don't want me to work. You don't want me to earn my own money, have my own career.
You call this a career?
I love how he says that.
He called this a career. Oh man.
And then the one thing I remember about this movie, I thought she was in it like the whole time.
Where can we go?
What's
My name's Fran. I'm an American.
I'm an American.
You could say I'm a member of the Peace Corps.
Oh my God. You got to kill someone that sounds like that, right? She sounds like the girl that does like the Toyota commercials on the radio, like Springfield Chevrolet, Springfield Chevrolet. Oh God, I hear her voice. I'm like, get the hell out of
Her body, though, is like embedded into my subconscious.
Mm-hmm. I get you there. Damn, I had something to say. Oh, the cats in the operating room were so like by the third time. At one point, he's like, "Will someone get that damn cat out of here?"
When Kathleen Turner buys the gun, she buys Dum Dum bullets. Dum Dum bullets were used in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I was going to say they were actually Dum Dum bullets. Yeah,
They were illegal.
Yeah,
So was killing your husband.
that was a good quote.
in the operating room when there was like Tonto and the Lone Ranger were standing there in the observation area. Like, why was that? Why was Tonto and the Lone Ranger there? There was ridiculous.
3 comedies that started with The Man in 1983.
The Man.
3 comedies. The Man with 2 brains, obviously. Then it was The Man Who Loved Women and The Man Who Wasn't There. I don't know those 2.
Yeah, I don't know. There's other 2.
The Man Who Wasn't There sounds familiar, but I know I didn't see it. Doesn't matter at all, right? Doesn't matter at all.
I don't think so.
I only got one more quote, and it's that super long.
It's not the
one.
cranial screw top Ziploc brain surgery. It's not that scene.
When he was doing the dual one, like spinning both heads, it was almost like he was a DJ.
He was tuning in Tokyo.
The scene where I'm not even sure exactly why they did this scene where she left a suicide note and then she went on the ledge.
Well, I think that since the ledge crumbled, that was supposed to kill him.
Was that what it was supposed to be? Because I was like,
Yeah.
why would she like lead him out here and not
that
kill herself? I didn't think about
ridiculous
that. Was gonna say,
suction on
I
a
have in my
stucco
notes. I was like,
I don't know if this is going to hold us both.
I have suction cup hands. Dumb. Like that was just such a dumb joke. And then at once he's like, I have no spit left, and she licks his hand. I was like, this is no.
that was
this is
bad.
not a good joke.
And it was a stucco wall. Like it wasn't even
stick,
flat.
Nothing would stick to a stucco wall. That was just such a dumb psych. And it went on too long because he went all the way out there and got her, and then came back with her.
It said a plaque outside Dr. Necessiter's condo or castle reads Castle 100 Wreck. 100 Wreck is the German word for dog poop.
Oh, that's stupid. That was when he went to that hotel with the elevator that didn't work and stuff like that. Like everybody was like super, like so into Kathleen Turner. Like they're like, how did this lucky man get her and stuff like that? I was like, I'm not picking up on that. I'm not sure why they're going overboard with her. I don't know. I guess I'm just not that into her.
And then there's the closing epilogue. You want me to read that?
Oh, yeah.
Merv Griffin did not turn himself in and is at large. If you have any information as to his whereabouts, call your local theater manager.
I wonder, like, if there was any instances of someone like seeing Merv Griffin on TV or walking around Hollywood or something like that, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's Merv Griffin. We have to call like the authorities or the local theater or whatever." Because people are quite stupid. They might be like, "Oh, Merv Griffin's really a murderer." There are people out there that there's more than 10 people that saw this movie in the theater and were like,
and we're convinced
Merv Griffin's a murderer.
Do you remember what brain number and
21?
I was gonna say 21, right?
21,
yeah. Okay. There were a lot of brains there, and they were all killed by the elevator killer.
Yeah.
So he was a menace.
And they're all neon colored.
Yes. And that was really good when he's like, you don't need the tubes and the stuff and the thing that goes.
It says here, going back to Scum Queen, it says that when he kicked her he kicked her into the mud, he called her Scum Queen. After this movie was first released, for a time, Turner was routinely referred to by this name in print media articles.
Really?
Wow, really? Like, that's crazy. That doesn't seem like enough of a thing to become a thing.
Yeah.
Kathleen Turner, Scum Queen from Man with Two Brains.
Was this movie that popular?
I don't think it was.
No.
I think this was not probably a hit at all. I don't remember it being a hit. I mean, I didn't see this in the theater. I saw this on video like maybe 5 years later or something like that. I don't know. I don't think this was, this certainly wasn't as big as The Jerk or All of Me.
I think those others were bigger than that. This is definitely not as big. This wasn't even in the United Kingdom. This went straight to video. It didn't even go into the theater.
They did that back then? Wow, I didn't even know they did that back then.
Damn.
Straight to your local mom and pop shop. I love those mom and pop.
A to Z video in
shops,
Wrightstown.
West Coast Video.
West Coast
Palmer Video I used to go to. Some good stuff, man.
This movie made $10 million. I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, it could have had a budget of $5, so who even knows?
I don't think there was probably much of a budget, right? I don't think they went to Vienna.
Who are you paying
for real,
for?
right? They didn't really go to Vienna. Right?
They didn't.
The castle.
They didn't show off the city like they would have New York or LA, as we've seen recently.
Like Succession, they were talking about how the cost of this season, like just of being on location where they've been going, has been outrageous because they're going to outrageous locations.
Yeah, they got to bring the whole crew.
Yeah.
I can't find budget. I just see it made $10,353 million in its total.
And if you're not watching Succession out there, I recommend it highly.
It's almost
so
over.
Good. I know, it's so good.
That episode I saw was good.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did Brian Cox say, fuck off?
Fuck off. He's in some commercial now for whatever. And every time I see him, I'm like,
he's like the McDonald's voice too,
Well,
right?
it's him. It's his
But
face.
I know.
Is he the I'm loving it guy? Is that McDonald's even? Is that?
I don't know if he does that. I'm loving it, but he's the voice. There's a commercial where there's a guy talking, and it's Brian Cox.
All I can think now is that there's like that one where it's an old man. He goes, do. I'm loving it. Like that might be.
I don't
him.
know if that's him. I don't know.
But he's doing a commercial now where you see his face.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
He's walking through like a hotel or something like that, and I'm like, just give a good old fuck off.
You want it. You need it. It's right there on the tip of his tongue.
It's so funny because I've known him for a while. He's done a lot of movies, and he's not like a foul mouth actor before
really,
this. He did a lot of like PG stuff. I guess he's restrained, but
I don't really have much left. So if you want to dig into your deepness, do you have any more quotes that you want to share? Or?
No, I mean, I just have that super long one.
You want to do that one? You can play that one.
You want me to play that one?
Yeah, while Andy's looking up to whatever he's looking up.
I was trying to find the budget just
when
to
he starts
see
looking
if,
something up, you lose him completely. He's like,
I only have a one-track mind. I can't
talk to him, and I say something, it just hangs out there, and it's like, okay, nobody's going to comment on that.
Oh my god!
Becca, if there's anything wrong with my feelings for Dolores, just give me a sign.
No sign yet, right?
No.
This is real time.
Just any kind of sign. I'll keep on the lookout for
And that was the painting that got ripped by the cat, right? Didn't the cat like?
Yes, her
claw-
painting.
Yeah.
Or was it? Oh no, that was at the that was at Timon's house.
Oh, was it? Oh,
yeah,
right.
The cat
Yes,
ended
yes,
up
yes,
on the
yes, yes,
painting,
yes,
and it was his Renoir.
Oh, right. He said, "My Renoir."
Yeah.
Dude, if you have a Renoir, you certainly have it insured.
I would
man.
think
So
so.
if that happens, you say, "My cat fucked up my Renoir. Get me another one." Isn't he? Can't you talk to John Renoir and have him pay me another painting?
Can you speak to the Renoir estate?
Yes, please. I got nothing else. I got to tell you, like, I didn't take a lot of notes because I felt like this was another one of those movies. Like we've done a couple where it's just like I don't want to just like every funny line, you know, every like kind of like
because there were some funny lines. Some were like, it was like they tried too hard. I felt sometimes. Let's get into the scores. I think we've gone long enough for this one. Let's get some scores. So you want to go ahead?
Michelle gave this a 68. She said that like halfway through this was like a 75, but she also felt this movie kind of like fell apart midway to the end. So she's like, the score's got to go down because of that. I gave it a 65. I've probably been talking like you thought I was going to give this a much higher score because I was laughing so hard. But again, the first hour is really good. That last half hour it's just not good. And it drags and you're just kind of like, they should have ended this a while ago. Because I was laughing a lot early on. And then I don't think I laughed the last half hour at all. So that hurt the score.
I'm going to give my score before Brian's because I think Brian's is going to be higher than mine. I wouldn't say this is peak Steve Martin. It's definitely not. I'm not the biggest Steve Martin fan. I don't need to see this movie ever again. It had some funny parts. I did laugh at parts. I gave it a 62.
Okay.
But yeah, that's where I'm at with this one.
I gave the same score as Michelle.
Oh, okay. Great.
68.
I thought you were going to go higher for this for some reason. Yeah.
No, I mean, I like this movie, but I'll never watch it.
I mean, it was
again.
fun. It was fun. But if I'm going to watch a Steve Martin movie, I'm going to watch The Jerk. I'm going to watch Three Amigos, All of Me. I'm actually kind of, I don't know when All of Me comes out, but I'm kind of excited.
It's a Lily Tomlin one?
Yeah,
1984.
Oh, okay. So we'll get to that soon. Obviously, Only Murders in the Building. I've loved that show.
That's good.
The last
I like
3
that,
seasons or 2 seasons.
I haven't watched that yet.
It's very good.
It's fun. I actually really like that.
He kind of plays a straight man. Martin Short's the funny man, but that's okay. It's very good. And I like those two together. But yeah, I mean, Steve Martin's had one of those really, he's had an illustrious career, and he's kind of always like, did Steve Martin ever do a dramatic role? Did he ever go the way of like Robin Williams, Jim Carrey, like those
Bill
guys?
Murray.
They start playing like, super serious, I'm dying kind of movies. I feel Steve Martin's always just kind of played Steve Martin and everything. And I'm okay with that. I like Steve Martin. He makes me laugh. But this one, again, too long and not funny enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got to look into next week.
Do we have tomato scores for this? Are we around the same?
Rotten Tomatoes. I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot to get that. Critics were really high on this, 78.
Wow, that's too high for this.
And the audience was around where we were, 64.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
78. That seems way too high.
That seems
for this.
very, very high. Yeah.
This is very odd that we all of us give us
all
in
within
the same
like
10
6
digits,
points or something like that. Yeah. I think comedies are easier to judge.
Yeah.
If it's a drama, you're not a drama guy.
No.
So you're always lower. And if it came out in the 80s, you didn't watch it, so you have no nostalgia to it.
I watched this.
I know.
But
I'm kidding.
It had boobies.
It did have some movies.
Okay, so we could do Blue Thunder.
Okay.
It's on Hulu.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You want to do that?
I'm fine with that.
Because if we don't have that, it was that, or because we can't do Dr. Detroit because we can't find that.
It's not streaming anywhere.
Return of the Jedi, we're waiting for Anthony, right?
Yeah, we'll do
To
that.
be here in studio for that one.
Our sons, Brady and Logan, saw that the other day in the movie theater because it was the 40th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, if only there was a podcast that did a 40th anniversary kind of thing. Wouldn't that be great to do?
I think that's a great idea.
Logan liked it. They had actually watched New Hope and Empire the night before and then went and saw Jedi on Friday night, I guess it was. And Logan went to, it was either you or Connor or someone today asked me, was it the original version or the new version? And Logan was like, there was like a big dance scene in the middle of the movie. I'm like, yeah, you saw the special edition, the air quote special edition.
All right.
Disney should have just been like, we just want the original shit. Don't give us this fucking special
Did you ever see
edition
Blue
shit.
Thunder?
I did. That I'm pretty sure I saw.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. I remember Roy Scheiner's.
Roy Scheider's star.
Roy Scheider.
I think, is that Bubba Smith and Dick Butkus also?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, because they had a TV show afterwards, and they were on the TV show. So,
and
I think they
after
came
that,
from the
it's
movie.
Return of the Jedi. We're waiting for that, but after that, it'll be Octopussy. All right, good. Octopussy's on HBO Max.
It's also
So you
on.
put that
It's
in,
also
bring
on.
it right back there. Octopussy's on HBO Max.
It's also
okay.
it's also on Amazon because Amazon owns MGM now. So all the MGM movies, which James Bond is,
It's $3.99 on Amazon.
Really, I watched like all the James Bond movies recently on.
Maybe
on
they
Amazon.
cycle them
But it
off.
changes each month. It's the different things. Like
but they
sometimes-
own it. You would think they'd want it out there all the time.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have to pay. They don't have to rent them. They own them. So I don't know why. Like, man, these streaming services that just confuse me. Like on HBO Max the other day, I go on there and I saw like I'm just flipping through real fast and I see Yoda's face. I'm like, wait, what? And I like went back up and it's like celebrate May the 4th. May the 4th be with you, which is actually today. May the 4th be with you. And
with you.
and it was like,
And also with
and
you.
it was Empire Strikes Back. And then you could click over and it's Return of the Jedi. And then it was, I'm like, why are these on HBO? And they're not. You can get Disney through HBO. And I'm like, why would they promote that? Like, why would another streaming company promote other people's stuff? I don't understand it. I mean, Disney is certainly HBO's biggest competitor between
That shows you
DC and Marvel. And
this
all
movie
that.
was so bad. We have more non-talk about different stuff than the actual movie. But nah, it was okay.
It wasn't awful. It just ran out of gas.
Yeah.
Way too early.
Blue
Like, a lot
Thunder.
of movies run out of
We're
gas.
going to switch gears. We're going Blue Thunder. We're not going to have a comedy. We're going to have a action
Yeah,
drama.
an action for sure. That movie's nuts. I remember watching that and being like,
I don't remember anything about
it's a fucking military helicopter just going around shooting people. I mean, it's not like it's a possessed one. It's not like Christine, but like it's
later on this year.
That'll be
we do Christine this year.
I think we get like 3 Stephen King movies this year.
Dead Zone, Cujo, and Christine. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Halloween's going to be like 2 months this year. We got to start early. So
we had a long Halloween last year too.
Oh, good Batman arc. Long Halloween. Love that.
I would say probably check Spreaker and everywhere else you can get our podcast. Google, Apple, download us, rate, subscribe, review, do all those fun things. Comment on our posts out there on the social medias. It's exciting, a new podcast on the social medias, or you can reach out to me. I'm the Jazoo over there on Instagram, and it's Jazoo74 on Twitter. This has been the Exciting and New Podcast. I'm Jason.
I'm Andy, AEGonzo1 on Twitter, AEGonzo1970 on Instagram.
and I'm Brian, Papa Bad Kitty.
Papa Bad Kitty. Papa Bad Kitty. Papa Bad Kitty.